Speak to all Jerusalem of the peace that waits for them. Tell them that their sins are covered, that their warfare now is over. So says our God, comfort those who sit in darkness, groaning from their sorrows.
Hello everyone and welcome to worship as we move further into this season of Advent, the season of watching and waiting and preparation, that time where we sharpen our focus, we move all the obstacles out of our way, we make a clear path and we focus in on God. We look ahead, we look forward in hope to the coming of the Christ child in the manger at Bethlehem, where hope is reborn in our hearts, where we welcome the Prince of Peace, where there is joy, where there is love. And in that wee little sentence there, we've put in all four of the Advent themes: hope, peace, joy, and love. This week we are thinking particularly of peace. We're also, as we hear the words from the prophet Isaiah, we hear him speaking God's words of comfort to his people. So our themes today are peace and comfort. So there we go, Advent 2. I have to confess that the book of Isaiah, I have a deep and abiding love for the book. To me, it really does symbolize Advent, and the season of Advent is probably my very favorite season in the church year. It's so filled with that lovely sense of yearning and hope. It's a nice mix. So anyway, as we move into this service today, I hope you find this time a time to re-energize, a time of encouragement for your faith, and a time that helps you to prepare for the opening of your heart to let the Christ child in once again. Now, before we move into our time of worship, I have some news. Well, friends, it's been a very long haul, but at last we are going to be able to open the church building. The electrical work has now been done. It was finished on Wednesday, and Davey, the electrician, handed over the report, and I immediately sent that straight off to Presbytery. On Thursday night, we had our Kirk session. Presbytery, meanwhile, that afternoon had sent us the tick to go ahead. We can open the building. And so at session on Thursday, we were able to have, after a good long conversation about the best practice and the best way of going about this, we were able to make a decision as to when. So we're going to be opening the building ready for Christmas week. So our first Sunday back in the building will be Sunday the 20th of December at 10:30. So there will be a few wee things around coming to worship. We're in the midst of putting together a wee newsletter, not our all singing, all dancing magazine this year, just a wee newsletter, and that's going to be posted out to you as soon as we get that together, and that will have further details about what you might expect if you were to come to worship on a Sunday under these new, stranger circumstances that we find ourselves in. And so all the information will be in there. And again, I just want to emphasize that if you're shielding, if you're in one of the vulnerable categories and you're feeling anxious about coming to church, it's okay to stay at home. We'll be continuing to do the online services as well. So you can get to choose what's the best thing there for you. And please don't feel any guilt about choosing to stay at home if you need to do that. That's perfectly okay. But I'm just really glad that we can finally get that building open again, and particularly for Christmas. It will be cold because we'll have to have the doors open for a through flow of air. So I might be encouraging you all to bring a hot water bottle, and I think you can even bring your wee thermos flasks of tea to keep yourself going. But the services will be slightly shorter as well to take that into account. But there we go, 20th of December, 10:30 a.m. we go back to the building. That's really the big piece of news. That's all I really wanted to say. In the meantime, I hope you've been coping with all the snow. It's pretty much washed away now, but I hope you've been keeping safe and warm given the weather conditions we've just had. So let's now turn our minds to this time of worship, and as is our regular practice, let's just take a moment now of quiet as we prepare our hearts, our minds, our whole selves to meet with God in worship. So let's be still. We come to prepare the way of Christ, the peace of Christ to enter our world, to enter our hearts. We cry out together in the wilderness, the kingdom of heaven has come near. We come to be part of the light that shines in the darkness. We come to worship God. And as we come to meet the God of Advent, so he has come among us, making a home within our hearts. So let us worship God, and our opening hymn is Hark the Glad Sound, the Saviour comes, the Saviour promised long.